everyone, and welcome to my next video tutorial, which is going to be focused on implementing the django-request package, which is essentially a statistics module for Django. And essentially what it does is it stores all of the requests that are made towards your web application within a database, so that all of your admins will be able to read data based on these requests in the form of statistics. So just an example of what it will look like. So here is a typical graph that you'll be able to see in terms of hits, unique visits, and unique visitors that visit your website. So let's go ahead and implement this package. Now, the first thing that you need, of course, is you just need to have a simple Django project up and running. So as you can see, like always, I just have a simple one that I created. I haven't even made my default migrations yet, but if you want to follow along as I do, let's just do that. So all I'm going to do with this basic application that I have is just make my default migrations before we continue. And there we have it. They have been made. Perfect. Now what we can do is install the django-request package. So what you can do is go ahead and install it within your virtual environment of your project. Okay, so it also has a lot of sub-packages attached to it, such as 6, Python dateutil, and of course a django-request. Okay, and now we need to read the docs. So let's look in further detail. So we can head on over to the installation. Okay, and as you can see here, all we needed to do was to install the package. Go next. And now it takes us to template tags. So it seems if we head on straight to the base of the docs, here we are. Okay, it should show us the steps down here on the quick start. So we want to aim for the quick start. So once we have installed the package, all we want to do is we want to install the app by adding in a request to install app. So if I zoom in here a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to add in a request to installed apps of my application. So I'm going to go to my project settings.py file. Let me just remove the default. So here is installed apps, and I'm just going to add in the following. So request. So that's step 1 done. Okay, step 2 is to run python manage.py migrate, so that Django will create the database tables for this request package that we have installed. So for Django request, we need to now migrate all the default migrations so that Django will create the unique database tables that pertain to this particular app. So what you can do is you can just run python manage.py migrate. That's all that you need to do. There we go. So those database tables have been created. All right, step 3. So we need to add in the request.middleware.request middleware to middleware. So it's a very wordy there. And we need to ensure that we place this above django.contrib.auth.middleware.authentication middleware. We need to place it after, So we need to place it after the default middleware that we have here. So if we head on to our settings.py file, and we head on to middleware, you can see here that we have django.contrib.auth.middleware authentication middleware. This is exactly what is mentioned here in the docs, and we need to add in the request middleware after it. Now, I'd recommend that you add it at the end, okay, just for clarity. So I'm going to do just that. So I'm going to copy this right here and ensure that you add in single quotes either side. And at the bottom of the middleware, you want to add in the following, and you can add in a comma at the end. Okay, so make sure you go ahead and do just that. Perfect. So the final step here for step 4 is to make sure that the domain name in django.contrib sites admin is correct, and it's used to calculate unique visitors and top refers. Okay, so step 4 is really only the step that you should follow if you have your website more in production, and the docs will hopefully shed more light in terms of that for you. But in any case, what we can do now is we can head on to our command prompt, and we just want to create an admin user. So we want to evaluate this particular model. So I'm going to say python manage.py create super user. And we're just going to call this admin 101 email of skip. I'll enter in a password. And again. Okay, great. And now I'll run my server. Let's do that. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is head on to Django admin. And all you want to do now is you want to ensure that you enter in your superuser credentials that you just created. Perfect. And once you've done so, you can log into your superuser account. And you should see here a request app with the request model situated down below, which you can click on. And as you can see, we can already see the time, the path, the response, the method, and where this particular request was from. Now, if I were to just refresh this page right now, you're going to see more requests being generated. And you can see the various responses along with their methods. Now, in terms of the graph, what you can do is you can click on Overview. And what you can do then is you can filter the traffic by week, month, or year. So I'm going to say week. And you can already see the traffic here in the forms of traffic information in terms of unique visitor, unique visits, hits, latest requests, and the most popular paths that people are visiting. So the most popular route in your application. And of course, the browser that is the most popular. There are additional things here that you can check as well, such as top search phrases, top error paths, top referrers. But this is something, of course, I'd recommend you read more about in the doc. But you can see at least we've got the basic here in terms of traffic. Now let's do a simple test here. So the hits were on December 4th, 12 for hits, and unique visits was 2, and unique visitor is 1. So what I want to do is I'm just going to reload the page a few times. Okay, let me just refresh a bit. And then you want to click again on the graph, week. Okay, so I can see here hits are now 21. I can see unique visits is 2 and unique visitor is 1. Now if I scroll down, you can see more in this table here. Now what I want us to do is open this in incognito mode. So we should see a change here with unique visits and unique visitor. There should be a bit of an increase here. So what we can do is we can go ahead and open a new incognito window. Okay, and what I want us to do is I just want us to copy localhost and then /admin, head on to incognito. And what I want us to do here is I want us to log in here again, okay, with our credentials. And then you can log in, go to requests. Okay, then you want to go to overview. And then what I want you to do here is I want you to also go ahead and reload the page a few times. And while we are in the incognito window, I also want you to open localhost in another tab. So you can open up a new tab, put in your application, head on straight there. And I also want you to make some requests. And you can just vary it as much as you want. So we're just generating some traffic for testing here. Now let's head on back to our regular web browser. So as you can see now, I'm not in incognito anymore. I'm now in my regular web browser, and I'm going to refresh again. I'm then going to click on week. And now you can see that there is a change here. So we at least now have more unique visits. So it's now 41. Of course, our hits have increased 83. And of course, unique visitor, we have set to 1 here. So I believe this pertains to the visitor that is based on the connection of the IPs would be my deduction here. But at least you can see here that we are generating some traffic. So if we did have this site live, you would have hits. You would have hits, unique visitors, and a unique visitor as well. That's a little bit more distinctive. And as you can see, that data does go ahead and populate accordingly based on the requests that we have in fact made. All right. So that's it, guys, for this video tutorial. So a little bit more on django-request. Now, of course, if I were logged in as another super user, okay, the chances are we would have a different unique user. But all I wanted to do was I wanted to generate more unique visits and to stipulate the hits just a little bit more. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video tutorial. And thank you as always for the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye.